Welcome to Motivational Humanity. You are not alone.
Right now, somewhere in the world, someone you love is lying in a bed, eyes closed, and for the next few hours, they are gone. Not dead, not missing, just gone. Their chest still rises, their heart still beats, but the them that laughs at your jokes, that worries about tomorrow, that remembers your birthday, that version of them switches off like a lamp. And then, as if nothing happened, they open their eyes again in the morning and call it just sleep. But think about that for 1 second. 1/3 of your entire life. Nearly 26 years if you live to 78. You spend in a state where the world simply does not exist for you. Sometimes you land back in reality carrying a dream so strange you can't explain it to anyone. Sometimes 8 hours vanish in what feels like a single blink. And sometimes you wake up with the eerie feeling that you visited somewhere, but you can't say where. This mystery has haunted monks, poets, kings, and now neuroscientists with billion-dollar brain scanners. So tonight, before you close your eyes again, let's actually answer the question. When you fall asleep, where do you really go? Welcome back to Motivational Humanity. Today, we are stepping into the strangest, most misunderstood journey the human body takes every single night. And to really understand it, we first have to destroy a myth that almost everyone believes without question. Here's the myth. Sleep is just rest. Your body gets tired, so it powers down, like plugging in a phone at 2% battery. Simple, right? Except evolution says otherwise, and evolution does not tolerate wasteful habits for long. Picture this. You are an early human, tens of thousands of years ago, sleeping out in the open under a sky full of stars. No locks, no walls, no security cameras. The moment you fall asleep, your awareness of the world collapses. Your muscles go loose, your eyes shut, your hearing fades to almost nothing. You become, for several hours, completely defenseless. Now ask yourself, if you were a wild animal and going unconscious for 7 or 8 hours every single day made you an easy target for predators, wouldn't evolution have found a smarter, safer alternative? A gazelle that sleeps too deeply becomes dinner. A monkey that loses awareness at the wrong moment falls out of a tree. If sleep were only about saving energy, nature could have designed something far less risky, like simply resting quietly while staying half alert, the way some animals do. But it didn't. Nature chose the dangerous option instead. That single fact is our biggest clue that sleep is not simply rest. Something far more important is happening. Something so critical that your body is willing to gamble its own safety every single night to make it happen. So what is actually going on inside your skull while you're resting? When you drift off, you don't fall into a blank, empty void. Sleep unfolds like a rhythm, cycling between two very different states through the night. Non-REM sleep and REM sleep, rapid eye movement sleep. In the first stage, non-REM, your heart rate slows, your body temperature dips, and your brainwaves stretch out into long, calm patterns. This is genuine physical maintenance. Cells repairing themselves, your immune system rebuilding its defenses, muscle tissue restoring itself. This is the stage that matches what most people picture when they think of resting. But then something strange happens. After cycling through the deep stages of non-REM, your brain suddenly flips a switch and enters REM sleep. And here's where it gets bizarre. If you watch someone sleeping during this stage, you'd see their eyeballs darting rapidly back and forth beneath closed lids. But what's happening inside the skull is even more shocking. Brain scans during REM sleep show electrical activity so intense, so chaotic, so alive, that it nearly matches the brain of someone wide awake and deep in concentration, solving a hard problem. The brain is burning through oxygen and energy at full throttle, and at the exact moment your brain is working its hardest, it sends a signal down your spinal cord to lock your body in place. Every voluntary muscle, except your eyes and your breathing muscles, goes completely paralyzed. Why would your own brain do that to you? Because during REM sleep, your mind is generating unbelievably vivid, immersive experiences, dreams. That paralysis is a built-in safety switch, stopping you from physically acting out whatever is happening in the dream. If you're dreaming, you're sprinting away from danger. That paralysis is the only thing keeping you from actually leaping out of bed and crashing into your nightstand. And sometimes, this safety system glitches. You wake up a split second before your brain unlocks your muscles. And for a few terrifying moments, your mind is fully conscious, but your body will not move. That phenomenon has a name: sleep paralysis. No ghosts, no demons sitting on your chest, no ancient curse, just a tiny miscommunication between a brain that woke up early and a body that hasn't caught up yet. So if part of the night is spent in this high-powered, almost awake state, what exactly is the brain working on so hard? Picture your brain as a phone that's recording everything, all day, every day. From the second you wake up until the second you fall asleep, information floods in constantly, scrolling headlines, replying to messages, clocking dozens of strangers' faces on your commute, catching random fragments of a stranger's phone call, feeling the temperature change as you step outside, mentally filing away your to-do list for tomorrow. Every single experience, no matter how small, creates a new connection between neurons, a synapse. If your brain saved every one of these moments permanently, it would flood with useless data within days and grind to a halt, like a phone with a full storage drive that keeps you awake for photo notifications you'll never look at again. This is where modern neuroscience found something remarkable. One of sleep's core jobs is running a nightly deep clean and reorganization of your entire mental filing system. While you sleep, your brain quietly reviews every connection formed that day. It makes ruthless decisions. It deletes the forgettable clutter, what you had for lunch, the color of a stranger's jacket on the subway. And it reinforces what actually matters. A new language phrase you practiced, a new skill you're learning, a lesson you finally understood. This nightly sorting is what gives your mind room to keep absorbing new information the next day without collapsing under the weight of its own history. But sleep doesn't just clean up information. It cleans in the most literal sense imaginable. In 2013, researchers at the University of Rochester uncovered a hidden system inside the brain and named it the glymphatic system. They found that during deep sleep, brain cells physically shrink by as much as 60%, opening up space for cerebrospinal fluid to rush through. That fluid works like a nightly power wash, flushing out metabolic waste and toxic buildup accumulated throughout the day, including protein clumps linked to Alzheimer's disease. Sleep isn't the moment your brain shuts off. It's the moment your brain repairs, cleans, and rebuilds itself from the inside out. Which brings us to a fascinating question. Are your dreams simply the byproduct of this nightly cleanup crew at work? For thousands of years, cultures treated dreams as prophecy, divine messages, or portals into another realm. But modern psychology tells a more grounded and honestly more useful story. As your brain reorganizes memories during REM sleep, it isn't working in silence. It's stitching together old memories, brand new experiences, buried emotions, and stray thoughts into something your conscious mind can watch. Dreams are essentially the highlight reel of your brain's nightly data processing session. But dreams aren't just chaotic noise either. They function like a private, nightly therapy session. Say you spent your day anxious about a big job interview or nervous before stepping on stage for a performance. That night, your brain might build a scenario where you show up completely unprepared or forget every word you rehearsed. A safe simulation letting your mind rehearse the fear without any real-world consequences. If you're carrying real trauma, your brain may replay distorted versions of that event over and over, which is exactly the mechanism behind nightmares. Nightmares aren't bad omens. They're your brain trying to digest an overload of stress, fear, or unresolved tension from your waking hours. And then there are the dreams so vivid, so razor sharp, that you need a full minute after waking just to remember they weren't real. Those usually happen during your final, most intense REM cycle of the night, blending your deepest hopes with fragments of your actual life into a story only your subconscious could write. So here's a question worth sitting with. Why does it feel like modern people are sleeping worse and dreaming darker than ever before? The answer might be that we're fighting against our own biology. Most people today assume sleep should look one specific way. Lie down, close your eyes, and stay unconscious for a clean 8-hour block until the alarm goes off. If you jolt awake at 3 a.m. and can't fall back asleep, it's easy to panic and assume something is broken. Insomnia, anxiety, a malfunctioning nervous system. But history tells a very different story. Historian Roger Ekirch of Virginia Tech spent 16 years digging through medieval diaries, court records, and literature, and uncovered something that reshapes everything we assume about normal sleep. Our ancestors didn't sleep in one unbroken stretch at all. They practiced what's called segmented sleep. People would go to bed shortly after sunset, wake naturally in the middle of the night, and stay awake for an hour or two, completely unbothered by it. That quiet window in the dark was considered totally ordinary. People used it to think, to pray, to talk quietly with a partner, to read by candlelight, or simply to lie there in peace. Then, naturally, sleepiness returned, and they drifted into a second sleep until morning. In other words, waking up at 2 or 3 a.m. might not be a disorder at all. It might be an ancient rhythm still wired into your nervous system, one that's been running for thousands of years. So what changed? Artificial light, electric bulbs, and especially the Industrial Revolution, which forced human beings onto rigid factory schedules. Suddenly, sleep had to be crammed into one continuous 7 to 8 hour block to match a 9 to 5 shift. Alarm clocks yank us awake mid-cycle. Blue light from our phones tricks our brains into thinking it's still daytime. Our environment changed at lightning speed, but our biology didn't get the memo. Your body was never designed for fluorescent lights and midnight scrolling. It's being forced into a rhythm it never evolved for. And the cost shows up as rising anxiety, depression, chronic exhaustion, and sleep deprivation across the globe. But there's something even deeper happening while you sleep. Something beyond cleaning memories or repairing cells. It's the quiet reset of your emotional identity. According to groundbreaking research from Dr. Matthew Walker, professor of neuroscience and psychology at UC Berkeley, REM sleep acts like an emotional filter running in the background. Say you had a brutal day. Your manager tore apart your project in front of the whole team, or you had a painful falling out with someone close to you. Your brain stores that moment alongside a flood of stress hormones like cortisol. You feel raw, humiliated, wounded. But once you drop into REM sleep, something almost chemical magic happens. Your brain actively shuts down production of norepinephrine, the chemical tied directly to stress and anxiety. That means your brain gets to reprocess that painful memory in a calm, hormone-free environment, completely free of panic. Sleep doesn't erase the memory. It strips away the emotional sting attached to it. You still remember exactly what happened, but the weight sitting on your chest is lighter. That's the real science behind the phrase, sleep on it. Things will look different in the morning. It isn't just a comforting cliche. It's a documented biological process. The event stays. The pain shrinks. Every single night, through this quiet cycle of deleting clutter, reinforcing knowledge, and dialing down emotional intensity, your brain is subtly rewriting how you see the world and how you see yourself. Your reaction to a person, your patience with a setback, your confidence walking into tomorrow, all of it can shift after one solid night of sleep. So, in the end, where do you really go when you close your eyes? You don't travel to another dimension. You don't drift into some imaginary universe. You go inward, into the nightly maintenance room of your own mind. And here's the strange, almost unsettling truth hiding inside all of this. If your consciousness, your personality, your memories, and your emotions are what make you, then every single night, that entire process quietly shuts down. Your awareness disconnects. Your sense of self dissolves into dreams, electrical impulses, and silent waves of repair happening in total darkness. In those hours, your brain is deciding, without asking your permission, which memories survive, which get erased, which fears get softened, and which emotions get rewritten. Then the sun comes up. You open your eyes. Consciousness switches back on. You climb out of bed and instinctively assume you're the exact same person who lay down the night before. But from a neurological standpoint, that's not quite true. The version of you from yesterday no longer exists in its original form. A slightly updated version has taken its place, carrying softened emotions, curated memories, and a brain quietly rewired overnight, ready to step into a brand new day. Sleep isn't a shutdown. Sleep is the process by which we are constantly, quietly taken apart and rebuilt night after night for the rest of our lives. If this changed the way you think about your own sleep, do one thing right now. Hit subscribe, because we go deeper into the hidden science of the human mind every single week. And trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Drop a comment and tell us. Do you wake up in the middle of the night? Do you remember your dreams? I want to hear your story. And if this video gave you even one new way of understanding yourself, share it with someone who desperately needs a better night's sleep tonight. Hit like, turn on notifications, And I'll see you in the next journey into the human mind. Take care of that mind of yours. It's rebuilding you as we speak.